Hey guys, we have no leaks for the January pack. It is basically as I have told or talked about in a video where we talked about the next card to come to Master Duel. We have already a super heavy samurai confirmed for January, so this was definitely the big archetype that was to come and will probably be the most relevant one in the pack, depending on what they end up doing with the rest of the slots. But now we also have the confirmation that we get the Nemleria cards, which I have talked about. This is also part of Cyberstorm Access, the main booster pack that we are currently on. So the three main themes missing were Super Heavy Samurai, which definitely was the one that we could be quite sure getting to us in the next pack. Then we have the Nemleria stuff that we can see here, and we will talk about in a minute. And then we also have the Gold Pride stuff left, though it's a TCG exclusive, and Konami definitely decides to like do it a bit differently with TCG exclusive stuff, so that might not come in this pack. I think we have still a few free slots left for more cards, but we now have confirmed the Nemleria cards, which is an archetype that revolves around these cards, or basically around the dreaming Nemleria and the monsters that she, I guess, sees in her dreams. You can also see there is the field spell, there is the tower, which you can also see in the background on this, and then also on this card, I think. And yeah, this archetype is definitely an archetype that has not made like a single top cut appearance. It never topped any regional or something. I couldn't even find a meta concerning deck list on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, which means no one really picked this deck up and it never really got any tops. So this is really an unrelevant archetype, unfortunately, but obviously Konami also have to give us these because they are in the pack, and yeah, that's just how it is. But expect these to not be very like high rarity. Probably the Dreaming Nemleria, which everything revolves around, will be high rarity, but that's it. I think artwork wise this is quite funny. So the main idea is, this is a, as you can see, pendulum monster, but the main idea is to get your extra deck, or to empty your extra deck. We can, for example, read this card. It says if this guy's in hand, you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down, except a Dreaming in Nemleria, special summon this card. So what you want to do is you want to like basically empty your extra deck besides Dreaming in Nemleria, which is the card that will be on your extra deck if you destroy it, obviously, because it's a pendulum card, or cards like this. If you have Dreaming Nemleria, which is the girl, face up in your extra deck, quick effect, you can banish 1 face down card from your extra deck face down, and then this card gains attack for each monster your opponent currently controls. So what you want to accomplish here is empty your extra deck, and that is because Dreaming Nemleria, as you can see or read here, cannot be normal special summoned, must be special summoned from your face-up extra deck by having no cards in your extra deck except Dreaming Nemleria. So you put her on the extra deck, and then you clean out your extra deck, and then you can use her or can special summon her. Obviously, this means that pots, you can also use pots in this deck, because you can get rid of your extra deck, Pot of Extravagance, for example. Though the Extravagance pot might also clean out, or no, it won't clean out the Dreaming Nemleria. But you can play this, and then you can only special summon a Dreaming Nemleria once per turn. If this card is special summoned for every 3 of your face down banished cards, which normally you will then have a lot of, you can banish up to 1 card from your opponent's field and or graveyard face down, and then shuffle 1 of your face down banished cards into your deck for each card you banished by this effect. So it's pretty easy to resummon her, obviously, because she gets back on the extra deck, and then you can then, if your extra deck is empty, resummon her, but you will also have to shuffle some of the banished resources back into the deck. So that means that you have to once again clear them out to be able to special summon her. But if you can special summon her to the field by having an empty extra deck, then obviously this is quite strong. Obviously you can banish a lot of cards. Just imagine you have cleared out your extra deck, and there is your Nemleria on top, and then you have, I don't know, 15 cards. You could also run less cards, obviously. But let's say you have 15 cards in your extra deck that you have banished via the effects of the other cards that you can see here, and that will probably come out all together, I guess. Then you can, for 15 cards free off, you can banish 5 cards from your opponent's field and or graveyard face down, which obviously is really, really strong. Like, banishing face down is strong. 5 cards, it's super, super much. You don't have to target them. So obviously when this Dreaming Nemleria effect goes through, it's really strong. But the weak point being that you first have to clear out your extra deck, of course, and that also means that you basically have to let your opponent play, because what do you want to banish otherwise, quite right? So in the first turn, you are basically preparing all this stuff, and then you let your opponent play, obviously. Then you can, if you get your turn back, then you can use your Dreaming Nemleria to then banish stuff. That's how this archetype is supposed to work. But as I already said, it never was relevant, and it will not be relevant in Master Duel. It was not relevant in the OCG and was not relevant in the TCG. So we have the super heavy samurai stuff that we know will come. So the remaining cards, obviously you can see we have a lot of them already here in the game, and then we will get the remaining ones, which the funny thing is that we don't even will use the synchro ones. So they might end up getting the ultra rare spots. I think the Samurai Brave Masuravo will be an ultra rare, but the cards that we definitely need is the Wakoshi, the Big Bankai, the Soul Gaia booster, Motorbike, and the Stealthy. Though Stealthy is, I think, one of is Soul Gaia booster. But we will get this, we will get the Nemleria, and then this was my prediction. I think we will not get the Gold Pride stuff. I don't think so. I'm not quite sure why we are not searching it right now, but this is still a super heavy samurai. No, we won't get the Gold Pride stuff. I think we could see the new Salamangrade stuff, because they need some like good cards or some community, some cards the community wants basically to sell this pack, because I don't think a lot of people are very hyped for Super Heavy Samurai. Some people might, but there are definitely no people hyped for Nemleria, or maybe you are. Let me know in the comments what you think of this awesome leak. But I can imagine that because we are basically at the end of Cyberstorm Access right now, we could see some cards from either the next pack, Duelist Nexus, or from some of the deck building packs, like the one that the Salamangrade cards were released in, right? So the Salamangrade of Fire, the new Salamangrade Raging Phoenix, or also the Weasel, which is played in Salamangrade now that we have the new support. Also, we could, because there are not a lot of cards that need to be released, we could see the new Unchained support, which are only 3 cards, so they would not make up a lot of space here. And we have some space, and this would be from the next core booster set. The other thing that could definitely also happen, because we already have the cards in game, is the rest of the Rescue Ace support, which we definitely have to talk about in a different video, because Rescue Ace will, when the support cards come out, be very, very dominant. Obviously, this is one of the strongest decks in the OCG and also in the TCG, but there is one special thing that we have in Master Duel. So at the moment we are missing the Preventer, and then also the it's not even shown on here, but it's I think it's Emergency, right? It's Notfall in German. It's Emergency, but we can't. Oh, there it is. It's the Emergency. So these 2 cards will tie the archetype together, and we have to keep in mind that we have a card that not even the TCG has. The TCG will only get this card. We had it show to me. The TCG will only get the Promethean Princess in February, which this card will boost up the power level of fire decks by a lot. So they could make it really interesting by releasing the remaining Salamangrade stuff or the Rescue Ace stuff. But I think if they release the 2 remaining Rescue Ace cards with the next pack, then we will definitely have a Rescue Ace on top of being the best deck, especially with the Promethean Princess. Even though we don't have the Diabellstar engine right now, which obviously will make the deck then once again better. Wanted, and Diabellstar, which is able to get you into a level 1 fire monster, which is your Hydrant, of course. And then in the future we will also get the Fire King structure deck, and this will also be used in the Noble Knight deck. So there is this big fire meta that will come to us in Master Duel, and we already have the Promethean Princess, so this will come earlier than it normally would for us in a Master Duel. But yeah, it could also be the case that this is another one that is missing. We have some spots left, though I'm not quite sure if we have enough spots left to introduce all the new Noble Knight cards that are to come. As you can see, there are a lot of here. This could also be the case. I think the last one remaining logical thing that could happen would be if we get the new Dino support. Not even sure what I should type in here, because I'm not sure how these cards are called. I'm not the biggest Dino enthusiasts, but It's cards like the Xeno something, though, yeah, it's Xeno Meteorus and then Ground Xeno, and there are some other new cards like the Evolvesar, which is a really nice generic level 6 negate, though it's better in a Dino deck. We can read it in a second, but there were these leaks that these cards will be in a secret pack together with Dinomorphia stuff. This has not happened as of this moment, so this might also, the new Dino stuff might also come in the next selection pack. So I think it is either, we might get the Gold Pride stuff. I don't think so. I am expecting either the Salamangreat stuff or the Rescue Ace stuff. Could also see Unchained, Infernoble, or maybe the Dino support. We will have to see. Just quickly evolve Zala's 2 level 6 monsters. While this card has material, your opponent cannot target it with monster effects. That's nice. It has 2/5 attack. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can detach 2 materials from this card and then target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate its effect until the end of the turn. And you only have to detach 1 if all the materials are reptiles and or dinosaurs. So obviously better in a dinosaur deck, which we will get new support for in the future. But yeah, we have the Nimleria stuff here, just to quickly wrap around or make a wrap here. Nimleria stuff, let me know in the comments what you think of this. Have you played this ever? Are you super excited for this archetype because you always wanted to play the Nimleria stuff because you saw it in the TCG? I don't know where you could have seen it because it was it was nowhere to be seen. But let me know what you think and let me know what you would wish for of all these archetypes that I've shown you to be basically the last thing that will be added to the January pack. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if Nimleria and Super Heavy Samurai, these are what we know of right now, will be in the January pack, and that's not very interesting for me if there will be Gold Pride. For example, if Gold Pride is the last thing to come, then this is definitely a skip pack for me. As of right now, seems to be one of the more uninteresting packs. But let me know what you think of the current information. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.